let us go via Karbala, so that we're able to go back and visit our beloved ones. She went back, they laid her there, she was sitting there, the chains were still on her hands. Next to her was who? Kulthum. Next to her, the rest of the children of Al Muhammad. Yazid was sitting there in his throne. He was married at the time to a lady called Hind. Hind, when she was younger, used to serve in the house of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And then she served in the house of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam when she was younger in Medina. When Imam al-Hassan died, Muawiyah forced Hind to marry who? To marry Yazid. She was given no choice. Hind was sitting in her quarters, away from this one-on-one between Yazid and Zainab. The narrations mention that Hind, while she was sitting in her quarters, she turned around to one of her servants. She said to her, I recognize that voice. Whose voice is that? Which lady speaks like that? Her servant said, I'm not sure, I could go and find out for you. She said to her, find out what is her name. Her servant went, she came back to her. She said to her that the name of the lady is Zainab. She said to her, Zainab? She said, yes. She said, I don't know why the voice sounds familiar to me. It's as if I've heard it before. The lady, her servant, said to her, oh, my lady, get changed and get ready. The emperor wants you to come out to sit next to him. Hind got changed. She got ready. She came out. She came and sat on her throne, while the daughters of Rasulullah sat on the ground, inshallah. She was sitting there on her throne. While she was sitting there on her throne, the narrations mention that Zainab turned around to Kulthum. She said to her, Kulthum, do you recognize her or no? Kulthum said, I don't recognize her. Who is she? She said, do you remember when we were younger? There was a young girl serving in our house in Medina. She said to her, that's Hind? She said, yes. Hind looked at them whispering. When she looked at them whispering, what did she say? She said at that moment, may I ask you ladies who are sitting in front of me, I see that you have young girls sitting there as well, and you have elder women sitting. Where are you people from? Zainab looked at her. She said, we are from Medina. The moment Hind heard this, she got off her throne, she sat on the ground. Zainab looked at her. She said to her, why are you sitting on the ground? She said to her, out of respect for the land of Medina. She said to her, when I was younger, I served in a house in Medina. She looked at her and she said, what? She said to her at that moment, may I ask you about the members of that house? Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam looked towards her. She said to her, tell me whoever you want to ask me about. She said to her, when I was younger, I served in the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Do you know him? Allahu Akbar. Imagine the sight at this moment. She said to her, when I was younger, I served in the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Do you know any of the members of that house? Zainab looked towards her and said to her, I know that house. Ask me about any of the members of that house. And she said to her, may I ask you about Abbas, the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib? Tell me about Abu al-Fadl. Where is he now? Sayyidah Zainab alayha salam looked towards her and she said to her, Abbas's head is on that spear in front of you. Allah. The head of Abu al-Fadl was on that spear in front of her. She said to her, oh lady, the head of Abbas is on that spear in front of you. He turned around, she said to her, may I ask you about another of the members of that house? She said to her, go ahead and ask me. She said to her, may I ask you about Abu Abdullah? Tell me, I beg you, tell me, where is Abu Abdullah today? She said to her, if you ask me about Abu Abdullah, that is only head on that spear. There's the head of Abu Abdullah in front of you. When she saw Abbas and Hussein on either side, she knew that they'd never leave Zainab alone. She turned around and she said that, may I ask you, where is Zainab al-Hashimiyya? Allahu Akbar. Tell me, where is Zainab al-Hashimiyya? Sayyida Zainab turned around. She said to her, if you ask me about Zainab al-Hashimiyya, then I don't know where she is. But if you ask me about Zainab al-Masbiyya, then here I am, Zainab, the prisoner of Shah. When Hind heard Zainab al-Masbiyya, she ran out of the court. Her hijab fell from her head. Yazid looked, he saw the hijab fell. He said to Hind, wear your hijab properly. Hind replied with a devastating reply, you tell me about my hijab. How about the hijab of the daughters of Rasulullah? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون واللعنة الدائمة على القوم الظالمين. We raise our hands, my dear brothers and sisters. Ya Allah, bless us with the shafa' of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. Allow us to be amongst the companions of Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Allow our children to be those who continue to take Zainab as their role models, Ya Allah. For the originators of this majlis and their marhumeen, and our dear beloved marhum and the martyr of the scholars of Najaf, Shaykh Mahdi Samawi, we pray that Allah raises him Muhammad and Muhammad, and that He allows us to be amongst those who follow the message of Muhammad and Al Muhammad. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the Surah Al-Fatiha. Inshallah, followed shortly now with the question and answer session, but before it, the loudest of your salawat. Ali Muhammad. Bismillah.
Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat.
My dear brothers and sisters, may Allah bless all of you. We will open the floor for a question and answer session now. This question and answer session is open to all your questions, whether they're related to the lecture or they're related to Andrew Tate. Whatever the range of your questions are, and we want everyone to feel free to be able to ask their questions, inshallah. I have a few questions that have come to me now. I will begin answering them, and inshallah, we will continue from there. If you have any questions to write down, I'm sure the organizers have provided, if there is pens and papers, and inshallah, I will continue with these questions. So I'll begin over here. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We'll begin with the first question. Our dear sisters as well, if you have questions, if our sisters want to write them down, then they can write them. If there is a microphone that is in their section, they could also ask the questions, inshallah. Firstly, I'd like to thank you, as previously you've answered my question on the purpose of worship. Building on that, I began to wonder why we're created why we were created by God. God created us to be grateful to Him, but He does not need us to be grateful to Him. So why were we created, especially with all the suffering He knows we will endure? I understand that there are things the human mind cannot comprehend, but would like your thoughts, please. This is a common question, the question of why God created us. I really don't know why God created us. I really haven't got a clue why God created us. But I'm here. And so I'm going to make best use of my time here. I'm going to have to find a syllabus or a manifesto or an ideology that will allow me to achieve straight A's while I'm here. I hear many Maulanas in my position, when you ask them why did God create us, they say to worship Him. But here's a very good question. God doesn't need our worship. So why then create us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when I worship Allah, I want to let you understand my journey in worshiping Allah. As a 16-year-old Iraqi boy, I worshipped Allah because I was scared that my mom's slipper would hit my face. So that's why I worshipped Allah. I would pray salah because you were scared that your mom and dad are gonna do something to you. Or that the lectures were saying that we're gonna burn in hell if we don't pray. Then later on, I became a businessman. And I said that if I worship Allah, He's gonna give me this really big house in Jannah. But then eventually, I found that when I worship Allah, firstly it's because I found Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala worthy of worship. Worship should be translated with one word in brackets. What is that word? Gratitude. Salah is gratitude. Saum is gratitude. Hajj is gratitude. When someone today has bought a new house and they've been good to me in life, I'm going to go to their house and give them a present. How could I not go and visit your house in Masjid al-Haram when you've given me so many presents in my life? Worship, therefore, is gratitude. When I, therefore, worship my Lord, Imam Ali alayhi salam says, I don't worship you out of fear of hell, because that is the worship of a slave. Nor do I worship you because I want heaven. That's the worship of a businessman. I worship you, Allah, because I found you worthy of being worshipped. That is the worship of a free human being. Many people said, religion is the opiate of the masses. The poor are the religious. No. On the contrary, religion provides a certain manifesto for us for how we can reach our potential physically and spiritually. Islam teaches me how to physically and spiritually be a good person. I ask you all a question. When now you have a headache, or you have, for example, stomach pain, you'll go to the pharmacy and you'll get a medicine. One day I went to the pharmacy. What's the most famous pharmacy in Perth? Do you have a chain in Australia of pharmacies? What's it called? Chemist?
Warehouse.
Chemist Warehouse. I go to Chemist Warehouse. I'm like, hello. Say hello. I say, I would like you to give me some tablets. Said, for what? I say, envy. Sorry? I said, oh, I need paracetamol for envy. I said, sir, I think you got other things going wrong. I said, no, because you said that if you have any disease,